Hello, this is Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you for your time. I want to introduce you to the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. Again, it's the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, where I teach you how to write grant proposals that will win corporate, foundation, and government grant money. The theme that I use to teach the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp is around creating community gardens. Again, the theme that I'm using to teach the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp is creating community gardens. But you can leverage the information that I'm sharing to write grant proposals for whatever nonprofit organization that you support. Now, this is a free preview of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp to give you an opportunity to see how I teach and to determine whether or not my teaching method is something that's compatible with the way that you learn. That's very important. I wanted to give you an opportunity to see how I teach and to learn how I teach and to watch how I teach before you invest. Speaking of investing, I'm offering the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp at a discount for $150 off. The normal price of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp is only $450 and it's a 4-week course. However, during this month, I'm offering an opportunity to enroll in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp for only $300, thereby saving you $150. And I will talk a little bit more about that later. So let's get started. Again, I'm Susan Woods, and I started a nonprofit organization called Comprehensive Community Based Solutions Incorporated all the way back in 2003. I operated two programs underneath it called Panorama Computer Learning and the Emerging Leaders Mentorship Program for Black Male Youth. I offer nonprofit consulting services. I complete the 501c3 application packets for private clients. I also facilitate in person and online courses for nonprofit leaders. I've earned 3 nonprofit management certificates, one from Duke University, one from Winthrop University, and one from Wake Forest University. I have extensive grant writing experience, writing grant proposals for my nonprofit organizations. I've completed grant writing courses. I've earned over $250 in grant funding, and that was only working part time as a grant writer, again, for my nonprofit organization. And I created the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp to share all of the knowledge, all of the experience, everything that I've gathered in my credentials into one course, the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. Setting the stage, here are the prerequisites for successful learning in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. We want to understand the differences between an organization and a program, the differences between an organization and a program. The nonprofit organization is the entity with the 501c3 nonprofit status. Again, the nonprofit organization is the entity that owns the 501c3 nonprofit status. The employer identification number, or EIN, bank account, IRS.gov, and other important systems are connected to the nonprofit organization. Okay? So your nonprofit organization owns the EIN. The nonprofit organization has the bank account. The nonprofit organization is listed on IRS.gov. And any other place, the Secretary of State's office will have information about the organization. Now, programs, which are also called projects, operate underneath the organization when you want to secure funding specifically for a program or project and not for the entire organization. However, remember the organization governs the programs or projects and distributes the funding to them. And I say programs or projects because some funders refer to the services that they will give money toward or will fund as a program, while some funders refer to those things as projects. So, whatever word they use is the word that you use to request funding. Next, let's look at the organizational structure. Again, you have the nonprofit organization at the very top, and it owns the EIN. And then you have a program or project number one or a program or project number two listed under the nonprofit organization. More specifically, let's say you have a nonprofit organization called Holistic Community Solutions Incorporated, and here is the EIN number underneath it. The EIN number always has 9 digits, starting with 2 dash and then 7 digits. Okay? So, underneath Holistic Community Solutions Incorporated, then you have the programs. Program number one is called the Healthy Kids Program. Program number two is called Farmers Market. So in this presentation or in this example, we're going to focus in on the Healthy Kids program because remember in the beginning I said we're talking about community gardens. Well, we're going to talk about the Healthy Kids program, and that's going to be the theme for this learning presentation or preview. All right, so let's keep going. Again, this is the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, and I have a $25,000 challenge. Let me tell you about that. My challenge is when you complete the 4-week boot camp, and if you've participated in everything that I've shared with you during the boot camp, if you do not get at least $25,000 in grant funding within the first 6 months after completing the boot camp, then I will refund your investment. Again, if you do not win or earn at least $25,000 in grant funding after 6 months of completing the boot camp, then I will refund your investment in the boot camp. Whether you paid $450 or if you took advantage of the $300 sale that I'm offering until the end of the month. So that's how confident I am in how you will learn in this Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. You see, the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp includes video tutorials like this one. It also allows you to download the video tutorial in a PDF format that you can write notes on as you listen to me share in the video tutorials. You will have knowledge checks to complete in which I will provide feedback. You will have practice activities to complete in which I will provide feedback. On Monday evenings at 7 o'clock p.m., we have group coaching sessions that you can attend. We also have a Facebook group page. It's a private page only for people who have invested in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. So I provide several types of learning modalities for adult learners to really benefit from the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. So I invite you to join. Again, the enrollment sale is only $300. I offer payment plans on the $300 if you need to divide it up into 2 months to pay $150 per month for 2 months. You can do that and still complete the course. If you want to divide it into 3 months and pay $100 per month for 3 months, you can do that as well. So I want to make it as easy as possible for you to take advantage of this opportunity. The sale ends November the 30th, 2025. And again, the regular fee is still only $450, and payment plans are available for that as well. So if you want to get started, I invite you to scan the QR code here and go ahead and enroll because enrollment is always open. I don't have a certain time to enroll. Whenever you enroll, I will send you a link to your assignments with a password so you can get started whenever you get ready. So thank you so much for letting me share that information. So let's continue on with the preview. What is grant writing? What is grant writing? Grant writing is the process of preparing and submitting a grant proposal to request financial support or grant money from a funding organization, such as a government agency, foundation, or corporation. It involves crafting a compelling document that outlines the project's or program's goals, needs, and anticipated outcomes in a way that aligns with the funder's priorities. This process also includes researching potential grants, connecting with funders, and managing grant proposals. So it's more than a notion, isn't it? People reach out to me at least once a week asking me to write a grant for them. Hey, Susan, I need you to write a grant for me. Or we need a grant for our nonprofit. I heard you write grants. The grant writing is a process. It really is, and people just don't understand that. That's why I've never written grant proposals for any other organization besides my own, because it's time consuming as well. So that's what grant writing is. It's a process. And I'm going to teach you that process in this Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. Remember, I talked about the theme of this preview and the theme of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp? Well, the main theme is around creating community gardens, community vegetable gardens. But we're going to narrow down the theme to focus in on the Healthy Kids program. That's going to be the program that we're going to use to write grant proposals for. Okay, we're going to write grant proposals for the Healthy Kids program. And in this next section, I'm going to teach you the grant proposal components, because the grant proposal has different components that you have to learn how to write. And that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start talking about the grant proposal components that we're going to write to request funding for the Healthy Kids program. Now, if you're not interested in writing a grant proposal for the Healthy Kids program, because that's our program, you can still leverage this information that I'm sharing to write the grant proposal components for the nonprofit organization in which you're working for, or which you're helping, or which you've started. Okay? The information can be leveraged, in other words, for any program. The first component of a grant proposal is called the problem statement. And the problem statement answers the question, what is wrong in the community? What's wrong? Because in order to get grant money, you have to explain to the grant funder why you need it. What problem are you planning to solve with the grant money that you seek? So the problem statement gives you an opportunity to explain what is wrong in the community that you serve, that you want to fix with a program that requires grant money. So the problem statement is a compilation of the needs analysis data in a report format that is easy to read and compelling. It should evoke a sense of urgency in investing in the community. So you have to do a needs analysis. You have to understand what is wrong in this community and create a report, or create the data in a report format that's easy for anyone to read, and that's compelling, and that's going to give them a sense of urgency, the funder, a sense of urgency to say, hey, we need to help We need to provide resources to help solve this problem. And in the long version of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, I will guide you through the process of writing a problem statement in more detail. But remember, this is just a preview of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, so I don't go into that much detail here. The next component that we'll look at that's included in grant proposals is the program description. The program description makes the case for grant funding because you have to make a case for it. You have to make a case for grant funding. You have to be compelling. You have to explain how you're going to solve the problem. How are you going to solve the problem? Well, the program description will tell the grant funder how you plan or how your nonprofit organization plans to solve the problem. The program description is the heart of the grant proposal because it focuses on 6 program details to explain why grant funders should award grant money to solve the problem identified in the community. So the 6 program details that are included in the program description are as follows: the program vision statement, the program mission statement, qualitative objectives, quantitative goals, target demographics, and program services. Those are the 6 program details that are used to explain why grant funders should award grant money to solve the problem identified in the community. These 6 program details are a part of the program description. So I bet you can guess what I'm going to do next, right? Next, I'm going to explain the 6 program details to you. Okay? Very good. Number 1, the program vision statement. The program vision statement is a broad statement that describes long-term positive change. For example, establish a community garden to eliminate the food deserts and to teach children the importance of health and nutrition through gardening. That's the vision statement. It's broad and it describes long-term positive change. You don't go into a whole long dissertation with a program vision statement. This is a good example. It's a 2-part, right? The first thing, you're going to establish a community garden to 1, eliminate food deserts in the community that you serve, and number 2, to teach children the importance of health and nutrition through gardening. That's the vision statement. That's number 1. Number 2, the program mission statement. The mission statement explains how to realize the vision. So you're going to elaborate just a little bit more on the vision statement, which is the mission statement. And an example is, we plan to establish a huge community garden to provide fresh vegetables year round. That's how you're going to realize that vision of eliminating food deserts and of teaching children about gardening. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, number 3. Remember, we have 6 program details under the program description. Number 3, qualitative objectives. Now, when you say qualitative objectives, you will see them referenced as the word outcomes on most requests for grant proposals that you will read, or RFPs. Outcomes. That's what the grant funder is going to ask you to provide or explain. Explain the outcomes we can expect from our grant funding. Okay? So outcomes measure changes in behaviors in terms of outcomes over a certain period of time. Behavioral changes, that's what you're going to measure. That's what outcomes measure. Example, the kids will demonstrate a greater appreciation for eating healthy vegetables, and they will encourage their parents and guardians to prepare better meals for them. That's the outcome. You see, right now, kids may not know the importance of eating vegetables because they have not been taught. So you're telling a grant funder that as a result of your investment in the Healthy Kids program, the outcome will be that children will demonstrate a greater appreciation, which is a behavioral change, for eating healthy vegetables. And they will encourage their parents and guardians to prepare better meals for them. That's an outcome. That's a behavioral change. That's what you're telling the grant funder that will happen if they give you the money. Next, number 4, quantitative goals. They are known as outputs. Now, outputs measures outputs in realistic terms, measures things that's going to happen, things tangible, the tangibles. These are the tangible things that you can see and touch and realize. So the outputs that you're telling or that we're telling the grant funder that's going to happen as a result of them investing in the Healthy Kids program would be, we're going to build 20 raised beds in the garden. We're going to enroll 100 kids in the program, and we're going to deliver 50 vegetable gift baskets. That's the outputs. Those are the tangibles. Those are the touchable things. 20 beds, 100 kids, and 50 gift baskets. Now, this is easy for a grant funder to measure your success or to evaluate your success, right? This is easy to evaluate your success because some grant funders want to evaluate your success monthly or quarterly or annually, but most grant funders want some type of feedback on the success or on the return of their grant funding investment. This is easy to measure. Have you built the 20 beds? Have you enrolled the 100 kids? Have you delivered the 50 vegetable gift baskets? Easy to measure. Outputs, which are quantitative goals, are easier to measure than outcomes, which are qualitative objectives, because outcomes are behavioral changes that you have to document from the moment a child enters the program until they get out of the program. But outputs are easier to measure because they're more tangible. So that's number 4 of 6 of the 6 items underneath the program description. Number 5, target demographics. Who are you planning to target for the Healthy Kids program or for your program? Whatever program or project you have, who are your clients? Who are the people you're targeting? Describe them. We plan to target children between the ages of 5 and 18 years old and their parents or guardians who live in economically distressed food deserts in Clio, South Carolina. Now, in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, of course, I go into more detail on how to write the target demographics for your nonprofit organization. But for now, this gives you an idea of who we plan to target: children and their parents or guardians. Children between the ages of 5 and 18 years old who live in economically distressed food deserts in Clio, South Carolina. So again, we go into more detail in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp because we talk more about the education, the income, the population, and all of that. But still, this gives you an idea of what is required for this number 5, target demographics. Now, the 6th part of the 6th program detail under the program description is program services. What are the program services that you're going to offer? What are the program services that you want a funder to give you money to provide the services in the community? We want to teach children how to plant vegetables, plant vegetable gardens, how to harvest vegetables, how to describe the health benefits, how to prepare vegetable gift baskets, and how to deliver them to the elderly. Now, each one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 program services will require great detail in how you're going to do it. But for the purposes of this preview, I'm just sharing the bullets right now. But just know that you will have to elaborate a lot more on program services. And that's what I teach in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this learning methodology? You see, again, the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp includes video tutorials just like this for you to learn. Because I think reading is excellent, but when you can hear someone explaining the content to you, I think that helps you retain it much better. In addition, you see, remember I said I give a PDF of each one of the video tutorials for you to print and for you to write notes based on what I'm sharing. Because I'm sure you've noticed that I elaborate more than what is presented on the screen. I share more about what's presented on the screen so that you can write what you think is important in the notes in the PDF. The next topic or the next component of a grant proposal is called the program budget. Now, the program budget explains how much money, how much grant money you need to offer the Healthy Kids program or whatever program you are offering. The program budget explains that. However, we're not going to do the program budget. That's the end of the preview. I just wanted to give you an idea of how I work, how I share information, how I teach, but I'm not going to get into the program budget or the other components of a standard grant proposal in the preview. Okay. So this is a reminder of the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp, the enrollment sale, payment plans. Sale ends November the 30th. The regular fee is $450. You can scan this QR code to enroll in the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. Or you can just go to my website at www.trustsusanwoods.com. That's www.trustsusanwoods.com. Click on the services link in the menu and just go to Grant Writing Bootcamp. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this preview. I hope that I've allowed you to believe that you can trust me in the way that I teach and the way that I share information. I hope that you would join the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp so that you can fellowship with other people just like you who are learning how to write grant proposals, either for their nonprofit organization or to start a business, a grant writing business, or both. We meet on Monday evenings at 7 o'clock. It's a great time for you to fellowship with like minded people. Again, I offer payment plan options in which you can pay. You can divide the $300 into 2 months for $150 per month, or you can do 3 months for $100 for 3 months. Whenever you make that first payment, you will be sent a link to start working on your assignments. Okay, a password protected link. I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention, and I look forward to you joining the Ultimate Grant Writing Bootcamp. I put a lot of time and effort in creating an excellent product for you, and I hope that you would take advantage of the sale that ends on November 30th, 2025. Have a great day.